level 6 pain, 6, maybe even 7. I kind of was really starting to having difficulty focusing. I was concerned.
Yeah.
It's scary
Sure.
when you get kind of getting a lot of pain like that and you're not getting relief. So I had a mishap at the gym and I developed some sternum pain, which had happened to me previously. And normally I kind of just stretch it out, ice it out, and that didn't work this time, and several months went by. And I started to, I just looked on the internet actually kind of to try to understand my symptoms, because previously I'd always gotten rid of it. And I learned about costochondritis, ended up seeing Dr. Vidan's video, and unfortunately I didn't schedule the appointment soon enough. I let a few more months go by and I really got in pain. And so really I had it for like 6 months by the time I made it here.
So you tried some things like rest and ice and things like that. Anything else that you tried? Some stretches?
Stretching, a lot of stretching. Yeah. I used the back pod, which is popular with the online videos.
Sure. And but nothing was working to fix it.
Not getting rid of it.
At its worst, can you describe, because I think there's a lot of people that are dealing with that too, like at its worst, how would you describe it? Like what would you say it felt like?
I would say, yeah, like level 6 pain, 6, maybe even 7. I kind of was really starting to having difficulty focusing. I was concerned.
Yeah.
It's scary
Sure.
when you get kind of getting a lot of pain like that and you're not getting relief.
And it's concerning for a lot of people too, because they start to feel like, man, because I keep pointing to here, because in your case it happens to be here, but it's one of those things where it can feel like, man, it feels like I get like this sharp stabbing kind of a pain and things like that. It feels like I can't breathe as deep as I normally would. Sometimes it feel like a knife in there, things like that. Did you ever experience any of that?
I had just a lot of different kinds of symptoms. I think mostly I had inflammation.
Yeah,
though.
a lot of just general inflammation.
Exactly, yes.
And so, okay, good.
Yeah.
And then with all of that, you had all these different issues, so it kept you from doing things like
Lifting.
Yeah,
it
like
really affected my workouts,
Yeah.
which was very upsetting.
Sure. And that then usually for a lot of people, whenever like working out is the thing, like for you, like that's mental time, that's like time to deal with stress, all that kind of stuff too. Now it just adds more stress to it, typically.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Very stressful.
Because you're trying to modify your workouts and do all the things, but you just can't get it there, right?
And pain is just stressful, I think. Just being in pain is really stressful.
That's a good point. Like being in pain is really stressful, and usually our tolerance for dealing with other things when we're in pain is much less.
Mm-hmm.
Did you experience some of that?
Yes, definitely.
That's usually what we hear. Yeah. So, all right. So let's go ahead. We'll get you adjusted. We'll show what that looks like and everything else, and go from there.
Okay, great.
So with her rib, because of what we have going on, it's kind of low through here. So we've got some in the sternum here, and we've got some of those rib heads, so they should sit like this. And what'll happen is they'll rotate, and I'm exaggerating, but they'll rotate a bit like that. When they rotate like that, it creates a lot of pain and discomfort. And so we want to get those back in the right position and work through that.
But
changes.
mostly I just have a lot of relief.
Now you were saying to me whenever you started, like you used to really be heavy into lifting, right?
Yeah, I was a figure competitor.
Yeah.
But mostly I just love to lift.
Yeah. I love that.
Competition is kind of a
Different world.
yeah.
So when we're working through here, we're working on those intercostal muscles, and you and I have talked about that because those guys just get so tight. When we're right in here, that's where we're working on the other part of that costochondritis that you were talking about as well. One more little one. Yeah, one more right there. There we go. All right, breath in and out. Great. Back right there. Good. That one. How's it been doing now with getting back in and doing just some workout?
Right. I'm just kind of slowly easing back in. Like I'm just trying to do 6 sets and just do some cardio and then just do 6 sets. And then I'm hoping to just keep gradually maybe go from 6 to 9 and then from 9 to 12.
Yeah, and move forward from there.
Right. Mostly it's the upper body right now that I just need to really be careful with.
Yeah, sure.
So
It's good.
yeah, thank you.